Two opposite ends of the same spectrum come to Covenant Health Park in Knoxville, Tennessee. One Knoxville look to continue climbing the table in their title defense season, as New York look to build on their early struggles in their inaugural League One campaign. The USL League One and ESPN Plus is brought to you by KUB Fiber. Stream faster with fiber. Hello and welcome. My name is Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Returning to the regular season means refreshing the table. Knoxville are 7 points from Union Omaha in first, but have a chance to catch up to Charlotte in number 2. However, for New York, they are at the bottom of the table, and any sort of points could shift things, especially in the second page. Only 3 points behind Greenville Triumph, only 1 point to catch up to Westchester and Corpus Christi. For New York, everything is at their disposal, but they have to go up against a One Knox side who have had their large portion of success due to their defense. Despite all sorts of shuffling, especially in the backs, different types of personnel, new bodies coming in, they've been able to make the most of it. Fewest goals allowed and the most clean sheets across all of USL League One. Ian Fuller noted that they pride themselves on getting clean sheets, and it just starts with a simple focus of keeping the ball out of their own net. Especially for One Knox, their defensive prowess has allowed them to become one of the best home teams across the league, who they'll need to be once again as they host New York Cosmos, who have struggled on the road. And you could argue that's an understatement. 5 losses in 5 road matches, a combined 5 goals and 15 goals allowed across those matches. Especially for a team that's been in a bit of a transition, one of the younger teams in the entire league. David Corti noted that maybe the experience might have caught up to some of these guys in these early struggles, but learning as they go along will be a key in order to keep growing going forward. And the silver lining for the Cosmos is that they can find that production. They are top 5 in a lot of offensive categories: expected goals, big chances, fast breaks, and even times hitting the post. In their 2 wins so far in the 2026 campaign, they scored 2 goals in order to beat Fort Wayne. They scored 3 goals to beat Charlotte, who are currently number 2 in the standings. And with the offensive production making its way through a key part of New York's identity, they'll have to rely on once again, which comes from individual excellence from both sides of the pitch. Ajmir Spangler is only 1 goal away from the Golden Boot leader Luis Alvarez with 6 goals, trying to chase Alvarez's 7. Kurchenkov is only 2 goals behind, leading the way for One Knox. And Kurchenkov got his feet wet once again on the score sheet, scoring against Chattanooga in the Prince Tires USL Cup. Spangler and Kurchenkov will have to be the catalyst for their respective teams going forward. It's the reign and the return to glory in the new age of USL League One. Knoxville and New York come to Covenant Health Park. Lineups and kickoff are next.
I would never go back to my previous provider.
If I had this sooner, I could have eliminated a lot of frustrations.
I don't have to hear, "Mom, the internet is not working."
If you don't have it, you'd be crazy not to switch.
At Zoom Drain, we fix drain and sewer problems fast. That's all we do. Clogged kitchen sink? Call Zoom Drain. Toilets overflowing? Call Zoom Drain. Ankle deep in the shower? Call Zoom Drain. Sewage in your yard? Call Zoom Drain. Water pooling outside? Call Zoom Drain. Strong sewer smell? Call Zoom Drain. When you have a clogged drain, call Zoom Drain. To get your life flowing today.
We've always been heads up about money, but sometimes life throws you a curve, like juggling college for our son and what it might take to help my dad if he needs it. He's always been there for us. Our Regions Greenprint plan helped us feel more prepared for whatever comes next. And Mike went the extra mile for us with great advice. We feel like we've got this.
Extra confidence from Greenprint. Extra know-how from our people. Extra is our ordinary at Regions.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. They look like thousands, but sound like one. In their hands, a simple beat is transformed into a masterpiece. Commitment runs through their veins. Because to them, the bigger the family, the better the game. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
I would never go back to my previous provider.
If I had this sooner, I could have eliminated a lot of frustrations.
I don't have to hear, "Mom, the internet is not working."
If you don't have it, you'd be crazy not to switch.
We come to you from Covenant Health Park in Knoxville, Tennessee, where One Knox are still in pursuit of the top of the table, while New York Cosmos look to escape the basement of the league's table. As our match is brought to you by KUB Fiber, stream faster with fiber. Our starting 11s are also presented by the fastest internet in the world, KUB Fiber. For One Knoxville, since their last regular season match against Greenville, they've stood pat for the most part. Deanna and Kurchenkov lead One Knox in assists and goals respectively. Linares is a lone change from the Greenville game, and Johan Gerbe has started every match for One Knox so far, leading the league with 5 clean sheets between the pipes. As for New York Cosmos, they did the exact same thing, only one change in their last match versus Sarasota Paradise. Both Gonzatti and Spangler have started across all 11 matches this season so far, becoming the spine of the forward and the midfield group. Knocker is a lone change since the last match against Paradise, as Javier Garcia is back between the pipes for New York, only 1 month into his New York tenure, still looking for his first win, only 3 losses to this point. We make our way to the center of Covenant Health Park, where it is 2 very different ends of the table. One Knox still in pursuit of the #1 overall seed. All eyes on repeating as regular season champs from a year ago, as New York Cosmos look to right the ship in their return to professional existence in USL League One, currently at the bottom of the League One table, looking to maybe reverse their fortunes early on as we get started here at Covenant Health Park in Knoxville, Tennessee. Ryan Lee and our entire ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us as both of these teams coming off of the Prince Tires USL Cup, 2 very different matches. One where, for New York, things got away from them very quickly, not just allowing the opening goal in 11 minutes to the USL Championship side, but even getting a red card a quarter hour in, which really derailed things for New York to even have an attempt to get back into things. As for Knoxville, they want to maintain momentum from what they did against the Chattanooga Red Wolves just a couple of days ago on Wednesday. As Ian Fuller's men, they did kind of have a bit of a back and forth with their fellow Tennessee rivals in Chattanooga, but at the end of the day, not only did they get the opening goal, but they also struggled to close things out at the end of the day, conceding the game-tying goal to Matt Bentley and the Chattanooga Red Wolves, allowing that game to go to penalties, where Knoxville did take the bonus point. Bob Cardian charges the box, centering feed into the hands of Garcia. Javier Garcia forced to intervene and cut off the attempted cross by Deanne, but already back to One Knox after the throw-in was given. For New York Cosmos, it really hasn't been a great run of things since they started off the year. Both of their wins this season took place within their opening 5 games in their return to USL League One. That was a 2-0 win to Fort Wayne, which was followed directly after by a 3-2 win against Charlotte Independence, who are now a top 2 seed in USL League One. This is a group that has been able to step up to opponents at times throughout the year. They've been able to punch up in their class quite a bit, but for whatever reason, things just have not been able to go their way as of late, as Linares gets back on his feet after taking that aggressive contact. This was that last foul on Linares. Had a bit of a wrap-up on Ajmir Spangler. As Knoxville look to pursue again. Dean outside. Fumbled that one out of play, but they say it potentially made contact as he was scrapping back and forth with Jordan Chavez. This will bring Teddy Baker into the corner, as Chavez did touch it last for the first corner kick of the match. Teddy Baker will occupy the far flag. Baker swung in. Using the hands was Garcia. It is a blistering day today here in Tennessee as New York look to start. Outside, back in, just short of Guenzotti because it was touched out of play by McRobb. As we just saw One Knox take their opening corner, New York will do so here. Ajmir Spangler ready to release for Cosmos. Spangler, one of the top goal scorers and playmakers in 2026 across USL League One circles. A lot of that production came in the opening couple months. 8 of his 9 goal contributions came in the opening 6 matches of the 2026 campaign. He is ready for the opening corner to New York. Swung in, outward. We have Cabrera and Sadul helping out defensively as Chavez and Holt with the starting center back tandem. This will go all the way end to end where Johan Garibay will take the goal kick.
Let's check out our KCC upgrade winners. We hope you enjoy your front row seats to tonight's match.
As we take a quick look at Davide Corti of New York Cosmos, first-year head coach, and is coming across in the Italian ranks, largely on the women's side of the game, having spent a couple of years with AC Milan's women's team, also with Sampdoria, also within the top flight of women's pro soccer in Italy. But for Coach Corti, a lot of things have not necessarily gone his side's way, just trying to figure out how to maybe shift things going forward, not focusing so much on the past, but how to evolve and improve for the rest of the way, especially considering they only have concluded 10 matches of the 30 regular season games that they are scheduled to play. There are opportunities to still work their way up the table. There's still some wiggle room there as it's a quick seam. Kurchenkov couldn't release, falls for Diane. Perkins outside. Perkins back to the middle. Baker couldn't clip it, still loose. Kurchenkov got a flick, but not enough to get it through. Maybe a chance to sprint the other way. Our Cosmos, Lamine Jaune galloping the near side. Jaune got rocked by Perkins, but it'll stay with Cosmos. This was the offensive sequence by One Knox. You had that first block from Kurchenkov, and then the continuing to follow up. Perkins sliding it back around where Baker couldn't get it through. Kurchenkov in the mix again. It's a big frame of Denis Kurchenkov. It's one that is not easily one that you can contest against because of the build and the way he can use it, how he can manage that physicality and his shot-first mentality. It's all been part of the perfect recipe for a really strong forward for Knoxville, considering they had to lose the services of Kempis Tequila, who was so serviceable for those 2 years. He went to Omaha, that allowed Kurchenkov to come in from the college ranks with UNC Charlotte. And already not just leading One Knox, but having done so in the regular season and all competitions. Galazzini wanted to lead the way for Guenzotti, but it is cut back. Sadul in assistance. Galazzini takes contact from Linares. Galazzini reverses back. He's got Knocker. Holton Chavez back towards Garcia. And that'll bang its way over the head of Cabrera. DN searches, touch back to Garcia, and he'll hang on to things. Tune in to ESPN2 Wednesday, June 17th for a USL League One battle. Forward Madison look to regain momentum against the surging Fort Wayne FC. 8 Eastern, all the action on June 17th on ESPN2. More love from the expansion sides in USL League One. New York Cosmos 1 of 5 this year. Fort Wayne being another one of them. As Knoxville were the expansion side in 23, they're on the attack. Krachenkov up the gut, had a roadblock. All sorts of guys in the area. The double team of Holt and Chavez doing a lot of the work. A couple of League One veterans in the back line with Cosmos, with Anderson Holt spending 3 seasons with Union Omaha. Jordan Chavez last year with Texoma after a brief half-a-season stint with Orange County in 2024. They're paired up alongside a couple of League One newcomers with Nestor Cabrera, first-year pro from Rutgers, and Davide Galazzini, who spent about a decade in the Italian ranks all over. As Galazzini is the target, he will keep it in. And we'll get things back to New York. It's a scalding day here in Knoxville, 89 degrees. No real wind or chance of precipitation notable. It's only going to stay in that 80s range. A Spangler from the wide angle, couldn't get it through. Knoxville looking to return to a dominant home form. Not so much that in 2026. Only 3-2-1 across the 6 times they played here in regular season play, but they did go unbeaten across 15 total matches at this stadium last year. And having that weight come off their shoulders, the performance at home, their first home game in 6 weeks was against Greenville as Linares gets tugged on to the yellow card. Galazzini is the one who will get booked first. And you had Linares attempting to work his way through, and Galazzini just knew he was beat. But that 2-1 win against Greenville, the last regular season game, was their first home win in 6 weeks. Snapping a stretch between their 2-1 loss to Omaha and their loss to San Antonio in the USL Cup, the first time they ever lost back-to-back home games since 2 years ago. They'll to rebound that with a potential back-to-back set of home regular season wins. Fed in, deflected, still loose. Krachenkov comes through, but it is pushed wide. The deep service, you had all sorts of pinballing in the area, but Krachenkov does get the last swing on it, just not in the direction of Javier Garcia. Skelton back with Perkins. The whole defensive unit remaining unchanged. However, it did have a big year-over-year change as it's fed off nicely. Linares threatening up the middle. couldn't link up as John Murphy was out of reach. But maybe reversal for New York. Lamine Jaunet. Jaunet comes across, fires, and couldn't get the ricochet. Two guys sliding through as Galazzini and Guenzati couldn't get a touch, and that allows Garibay to take over on the goal kick. There's a great effort from Lamine Jaunet. Only been on this team for about a month, trying to make his contributions felt as he was a little too far ahead of both Galazzini and Guenzati. Lamine Jaunet, one of the many guys on this roster who were with the one and done season that was Texoma a year ago. Spangler was also a part of that roster, leading the entire way offensively. Javier Garcia was the starting goalkeeper with that Texoma unit. Jordan Chavez was also part of that unit. Especially with how much talent is dispersed throughout all of USL League One, it can be really hard to find those guys, especially maybe in mid-season, like Jaunet, who was a free agent up until about a month ago tomorrow. But his Cosmos side having to play the cards very carefully. One Knox can find their lane, attempting to go for DN, and well out of play. Back to Cosmos. A really tough USL Cup game for New York, considering that not only were they down a man 15 minutes in, but because of the 11v10 sequence, they went down 3-0 at the halftime break and just couldn't recover since, to the result of a 4-1 loss to the USL Championship at Hartford Athletic. Jaunet near the corner took a clip off Skelton, and lucky for them, the bounce went away. Aiming for Kurchenkov, Chavez was first. Galazzini. Not there for Guenzati. Diaz. Wanting to open up Kurchenkov, but well short of that ball. Offside, go Cosmos. Minutes in, still zeros on the board between One Knoxville and New York Cosmos, a side that has had a lot of different and varying assessments in the early portion of their season, especially with just the point of emphasis being how to move forward and not linger so much on what already happened, especially with some of the individual mistakes having cost them at various points throughout the season. And they have been able to create a lot of offensive opportunities. We did mention it in the open. They have a top 5 offense in terms of things like big chances and fast breaks, the way they counterattack. Even times they've hit the post, they're top 5 in the league as well. And it has put them into pretty solid results on the offensive side of the ball at this point of the season. 14 goals through 10 games, which is just about 2 goals outside of the top 5 in the league. However, for New York, their big Achilles heel has been the defense, considering that they have been all over the place. A lot of new guys on this roster, not just new to each other, but new to USL League One as a whole. Touch back. Taken down at the edge of the area, and this will draw a penalty. The yellow card ensues as Chris T.O. took a tumble just inside of the 18. Chris T.O., he can tightrope that far boundary, one of the many strengths he's had since he joined One Knox over the offseason. Took a clip from William Knocker just inside of the area, and the knockdown will take things to the dot, where we have been scoreless to this point, but all indications look towards One Knox potentially opening this game up. Babacar Dian on the dot. He led One Knox with 10 goals in the regular season, only 2 this year. Dian on the spot against Garcia, a PK save specialist. Dian Stopped by Garcia. Rebounds loose and he scores! If you don't get it once, you try again, and you eventually bust through. DN on the rebound. One Knox, lead 1-0. Babacar DN had it stopped by Garcia. Something that Garcia does very well is stopping penalties, but the unfavorable roll and DN was able to get a head start, allowed him to get it back as we took a look at that beautiful bean footage, as all replays are brought to you by Bush's Best. DN hasn't had that same offensive production. That's his first regular season goal contribution since May 2nd, where he had 1 goal and 2 contributions against FC Naples in Naples. And DN opens the scoreboard for 1 Knox on a PK. Chris Teo drew contact, and DN does the rest. What is possible for New York to, at the very least, get back in this game? They've been scored on first 7 times this season and have only been able to successfully reclaim a single point in regular season play. This is a New York side that have not had much success at any attempted comebacks. Only one time they've been able to do that, and that wasn't even to the result of a win. That was on the result of a tie, as Teo causing danger again. Teo arches across. Cabrera there. Still Knoxville. A chance to load up for Baker, but that dribbles wide of Garcia. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Holt building out the back with Cabrera. Jaune chops it down. Still Jaune. Spangler up the center. Escaping 1 Knox defenders before it's poked out to a corner. We're going to have a redo on that, as still not ready. Knoxville are a team that pride themselves on their defense. They'll throw themselves in front of the ball. They'll try to beat through the one-on-one contact in the area. And they'll have to do so again as Jaune scoops it across before it's out. Galazzini and Jaune. Near side Spangler. Across the area, Chavez wasn't able to get it. Now he does. Had it dislodged as Linares works with T.O. One Knoxville debuting their new Delaney kits today, tributing the artist and human rights activist Buford Delaney, inspired by his specific artwork known as Untitled 1963, the vibrant green and yellow on the white base, really trying to embody some of the history of the Knoxville region, helping bring his artwork home in their new kits that they are debuting today. And you have to really appreciate some of the liberties, not just of Knoxville, but of everyone across the USL. We've seen New York do so with their yellow kits. We saw the purple Union Omaha cancer awareness kits also. especially those little touches like One Knoxville, trying to bring some of the history of their city into the mainstream, bringing awareness to it again. Some of the funds to the respective purchases of the jersey help go to the Buford Delaney House Museum up in the Knoxville region. As you have a foul, giving the ball back to One Knox. And not only is this the first time that Knoxville will be wearing their historic kits, but also the first time in regular season action that they'll be without the services of Bradilio Rodriguez, who a week and a half ago got recalled by Lexington from his loan stint to Knoxville. And some of the questions for Ian Fuller's staff is how they're going to be able to replace some of that overall production. 7 goal contributions in 12 games in all comps, including 5 goals. All of those offensive marks, by the way, were second on Knoxville prior to his return to Lexington. And when talking about the departure of Bradilio Rodriguez, it's all about finding a way to dig deep to find that offensive productivity, especially because finding a replacement of that quality can be a struggle. When the bar is that high, it takes a lot to meet those expectations. Something that Ian Fuller and company are very well aware of, but at the moment, Kyle Linares was the replacement in the regular season lineup to the Greenville roster. As this will be a quick talking to with Donka down on the ground. Baker has a conversation with our head official in red today, Elvis Osmanovic. Jacob Little, Rebecca Luther are the assistant referees, with Tyler Sandberg, the 4th official, as we get a yellow card heading towards that looked like possibly Javier Garcia for stepping way out of his box to talk to the official. We'll have to get confirmation on that one. This was the original foul where Baker, you can kind of see that approach on Ndonka, but could see everyone back on their feet. Lamine Jauna. Jauna cuts to his left. No one on the receiving end but Chris Teo, but to a corner. So it was Javier Garcia, likely due to him approaching the referee from way outside of his box. But for New York, they'll have to find something here. Not a lot of set-piece shots, not a lot of set-piece scoring opportunities. But Cosmos will serve it in. Spangler way far for Jordan Chavez. Chavez, who actually scored the lone goal in the Prince Tires USL Cup match last time out against Hartford Athletic, the only one in the 4-1, which actually came on a free kick. Rebound was loose for Chavez to poke it in, but the immediate response was one of the tougher things that Davide Corti had to say about his team in that Hartford game. How after the set-piece goal and Hartford's response about a minute or so later really drained some of the mental energy of his team. Probably some of the bigger parts of development for his side early on is the mental aspect of things. Coach Corti noted it's a very physical league, but also a very mentally taxing one. And the experience perhaps is lacking with as many guys coming in from all sorts of different programs, including a whole handful of guys coming in fresh from college. This is their first pro experience. Spangler can't fight through. Teo were clear for Knoxville. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. It's always a great ticket here at Covenant Health Park. You also have the minor league baseball team that plays here also, the Knoxville Smokies. And even the USL W team that has affiliation with One Knoxville. When they got announced at the early portion of last year. Or perhaps something a little closer to the New Jersey region. Maybe a specific major soccer event right near New Jersey. What a ball, if Jowney can reach it. Jowney across Garibay, one-on-one, he missed it! Only Perkins to beat, and Jowney pushes it wide. This was a golden opportunity as Jowney had Garibay beat and Perkins was scrambling back to just get anything in front of the goal. Ball rolling to the right, a little bit of momentum falling down, and Jowney couldn't get it. And this is where we will have our hydration break. 30 minutes in, we're expected to have one per half. It is still an 87-degree day here in Knoxville, so all sorts of heat-related issues, especially with whatever potential for cramping or whatnot. And don't worry, although there is a hydration break, this is not just the time for both teams to strategize and make adjustments if needed, but good news is we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here the entire time as One Knoxville have the 1-0 lead on New York Cosmos, a half an hour in. Babacar Dieng with the lone goal on a PK, which was his 3rd goal of the season. His first goal contribution of any kind since early May. We're going to take a last look at that last sequence that led to the current scoreline that we sit at 1-0 favoring One Knox. Linares threading things through for T.O., but got his legs tangled up with William Noker. And then Babacar Dieng actually had it saved by Garcia, but does get the putback. Those greasy goals, probably some of the more difficult ones to score, especially for a guy like Javier Garcia. Playing against him on the dot is no guarantee. Last year with Texoma, he broke the single season record in PK saves with 6. Had one on the first try from Dieng before he rushed in for the rebound. And Lamine Jowney had a solo rush of his own. However, instead of T.O.'s going down to ground, he got around Johan Garibay, just couldn't get it through the back of the net. But from Coach Corti, he did also mention that sometimes you might miss chances in the game, but you're still creating them, and that is when the game is still truly up for grabs. It's not when things are maybe not going your way and you're not creating anything, but if you're at least getting those opportunities, just having a quantity of them, maybe not necessarily burying, everything is still very much up in the air. However, One Knox have had pretty much the statistical advantage in every category so far. Perkins receives. Caputo. Go back and forth with the different midfielders. Baker gets it back from Dieng, but couldn't continue moving forward as it comes back to the center back tandem of McRobin. Skelton. Murphy cuts back for Baker. Perkins. Perkins into the middle. One is Ali Kurchenkov, but was knotted up with Anderson Holt. back on. A really tough 2-7-1 start to the opening 10 matches for New York. Their 7 points are currently last on the League One table, where they lost all 5 games on the road. And of those 5 total matches, a -10 total goal differential, only 5 goals scored in those 5 road matches, 15 goals allowed across that. And not to maybe drill a hammer in home, but to make things probably not feel too much better for New York Cosmos, is that they haven't been able to get them in either way as of recently. Those 2 wins both came in the opening 5 matches. Oh, it's loose and they score! An inadvertent bounce beats Garcia, and Knoxville double their lead. Sometimes you just create your own luck. Kurchenkov just took his foot out to block the attempted feed from Garcia, and it just rolls into the net. And just like that, not only are Knoxville leading by 2, but Kurchenkov is now second in the Golden Boot race. Sometimes they say you just create your own luck. And that was most certainly the case for Denis Kurchenkov. The 21-year-old striker from UNC Charlotte. And maybe he might have another one. Garcia probably a little more left, considering the last one went completely against him. Especially in hustle plays like that, where you're just trying to get in front of the attempted pass, maybe a block to get back some possession, perhaps. Ian Fuller has previously called Kurchenkov a machine, just talking about the overall contributions that he has, especially since he's been paired up with Babacar Dieng, kind of a best of both worlds scenario, where Dieng and Kurchenkov have slightly different skill sets, but they complement each other so well. What a flick! Murphy might have a chance, but got interrupted by Chavez. Kurchenkov just got a slight ricochet, but Murphy wasn't able to escape as Chavez was right on his neck. We're in the final 8 minutes of the match. It's 2-0, favoring one Knoxville. Opening up room, T.O. Baker. Touched out from Murphy. T.O. back to the middle for Baker. Wanted to lead it, but a barricade of blue, and Knoxville making life difficult for New York, as that will draw a whistle. T.O. taken down again. As if he already doesn't have enough issues, having taken the contact to force the first penalty. Just some nice contact there with Caputo on Spangler. And a bit of a clip there as Galazzini reached in on T.O. It's one of the top forward duos in USL League One. Babacar Dieng with a goal in the 19th on a penalty, and Denis Kurchenkov a goal after blocking the attempted Garcia clearance. Maybe a third. Baker punched out by Javier Garcia, out of play before it's kept in. Jaune. not on the same page. As he could have had Mendonca. Linares. Back to the center circle. Caputo with Murphy. They want to be aggressive. Linares on the outside. Linares is blocked. Linares fighting back. It was kept inbounds by Knoxville, but either way, it's back to the Cosmos. Five minutes left in the opening half. 2-0, 1 Knox. Both on some awkward bounces, but either way, Knoxville will take it any chance they get. Jaune leaves it behind. Guenzati cuts back. Guenzati couldn't get a touch. All sorts of disruption at the top of the box. Couldn't get things through for Sebastian Guenzati. And we have a man down inside of the box. That's the captain, Jordan Skelton. Probably the man you least want to have down to ground if you're one Knox. Now the crew gets called over as Skelton looks to be in all sorts of discomfort as the training crew does come. Skelton's been an absolute stalwart of one Knox as he just cuts back and oh, that's not what you want to see. That is not what you want to see. No contact on the attempted cutback. You can clearly see the little patch of dirt. Here's that visual once again as Jordan Skelton, just a bit of a plant. You see the sod kind of lift a little bit. This is a one Knox team that have already dealt with their respective injury issues. They've been missing Rael Gill for about 2 full months. Coach Fuller said Gill is maybe about a week or 2 from coming back, but just not ready yet. And Nico Rosamilia had a procedure done at the beginning portion of the season, in the preseason. Came back a couple weeks ago, but Rosamilia took another knock in the USL Cup game against Chattanooga Red Wolves where he tweaked his hamstring. And the question for Skelton is this a more serious issue, or was this maybe a bit of discomfort after the little grass patches on the outfield? Jaune returns for Cabrera. All sorts of contact from DN. That one seemingly no issue to Elvis Osmanovic. As Cabrera seemingly grabbing that left side shoulder. The 22-year-old is gaining some contact. Perhaps a shove, perhaps a hard land to the ground. We can only go by what the official ruling is, which is no foul. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Baker still connected with Cabrera. He centers for Guenzati. Spangler the follow-up. Reverses. Still Spangler. Wanting to outlet for Galazzini. Dean leaves it. Baker. Has speed. Krachenkov. Backs up Linares. John Murphy. Leads it. Dean. Back for Murphy. Didn't get all of it, but it's still with one Knox unless New York can get it. Jaunet in a foot race with Perkins. He'll beat him as our stoppage time is presented by Zoom Drain. Across, too far for Guenzati. Five extra minutes from Zoom Drain, the official drainage partner of One Knoxville SC. Possession will flip back to One Knox. A very light June for both of these sides. For New York Cosmos, of their 3 matches in the month of June, their only one at home was the last one against Hartford. They have another home game outside of this. This is the second of 3 games in June for Cosmos. As for One Knox, they also only have 3 matches in June. The last one is going to be in the Pacific Northwest, where they go to Spokane. And that is actually part of a 3-game Western road trip for Knoxville between Spokane, Boise, and Corpus Christi, who they'll play in the USL Cup. The last game for Cosmos in June will be in Madison a week from now. As Cabrera up the gut for Spangler, wanting to open things up. Guenzati leaves it. Galazzini can't keep it in. Maybe a chance for Davide Galazzini, but was unable to stay inside the boundary. As we are halfway through stoppage. And for both Dean and Krachenkov, not only are they the 2 goal scorers in this match, but neither of which scored a game in regular season play in 6 weeks. Both of them are aiming for their first goal contribution since May 2nd against Naples. As that will be a corner gladly taken by Knoxville. Only the second corner for Knoxville in the first half. Cosmos have managed 3 so far. It'll be Teddy Baker on Knoxville's second corner. Inward, too high, but still in play. Guenzati pushes it ahead. Galazzini escapes the tackle. However, New York couldn't continue pushing it ahead. Caputo reverses. Dean. No one on the receiving end. Final minute of stoppage. New York have had chances, just haven't buried. Only 2 attempts, none on frame. Spangler, center circle. Sadul. The Dutch midfielder, outward for Chavez. The deep ball is interrupted by McRobb. As that will give New York a throw. And that will do it for the opening half of play between Knoxville and New York. 2-0 at the halftime break from the duo up top with Dean and Krachenkov. Krachenkov getting the second goal in 35 minutes mark as Dean buries a penalty 19 minutes into the match from a PK rebound. That's where we stand 45 minutes in as we get ready for our second half. Our halftime has come here in Knoxville. It's been a relatively back and forth match, but One Knox have controlled things, all things considered, as halftime is brought to you by Realty Executives. More coming from Covenant Health Park when we come back.
Extra. It changes the energy on the field and off. It changes the expectations.
You're gonna be great.
It changes the game. At Regions, we celebrate the extra that makes the SEC the definition of excellence, while our team goes the extra mile so your financial wins keep coming too. Extra changes everything. And extra is our ordinary at Regions, official bank of the SEC.
It was definitely worth the wait. I jumped on it as soon as it was available.
Everybody's switching. I see the signs popping up all over the neighborhood.
Roxol is super fast speeds down and up.
It's a huge upgrade.
Cost is always consistent. I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
I still got it. I still love it.
If it's in your area, you better get it. And if it's not, it'll soon be there, and you get it then.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. They look like thousands, but sound like one. In their hands, a simple beat is transformed into a masterpiece. Commitment runs through their veins. Because to them, the bigger the family, the better the game. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
We return to Knoxville, where One Knox have a 2-0 lead on New York Cosmos. Halftime is brought to you by Realty Executives, and we're technically only partway through the match week as some of the contests have gotten things started in the midweek as we take a look back at the midweek slate of games. Things got started off in Westchester, where things went a little bit back and forth between Westchester and Fort Wayne. McGlynn getting the opening goal on this beautiful overhead kick that not only beats Burn Shipman, but somehow got in through the post. And then on the corner kick, You have the loose ball available for Fort Wayne, down a goal. Take Healy getting it through where he came in to today as the second leading goal scorer, tied with Oshmir Spangler, caught up by Denis Kurchenkov. As it was a battle amongst the number 1 and 2 seeds at the time in USL League One, but Prince Sadie finding a path towards Swebu Maru for an easy tap-in to beat Rashid Nuhu early on. And when it looked like Omaha might have been building some momentum, Luis Alvarez bullies not just 1, but 2 defenders, and then is unable to just rip one beyond Rashid Nuhu. Not only one of the nominees of the Player of the Month of May, but maybe making his early case in June, leading the Golden Boot race, now with 8 after today's set of matches as well. AC Boise hosting Richmond Kickers, the third of 4 matches in the Wednesday slate. Not only was it a chance for ACB to really flex their muscles, but doing so in front of that fantastic home crowd. Tumi Moshabane only a few minutes into the match, and Nick Moon getting another cross net feed back into the back of the net. That gave Boise the 2-1 lead, but a red card would be given to Moon shortly after. Although Richmond would get a goal to start the second half, they would be coming up short 2-1 the final in Boise. As we make our way and conclude things in the West Coast in SoCal, where Avialta, they have been on a heater, and they haven't been doing it on the back of one man, a little bit of everyone. Cesar Bahena getting into the scoring. You see this feed here towards Christian Ortiz on the one-time flick. What a ball that is for Christian Ortiz, an even better finish. And they weren't quite done yet, although there would be a chance, a selfish play to feed Godwin Antwi from Elias Almesh. Sarasota would score in stoppage time, but nothing more for the Paradise. But as we continue our way through the match week on this Saturday slate, we return here to Knoxville. 2-0 at halftime. More from Knoxville when we come back.
Unimpeded, Gebhardt's able to get hold of it and go for goal and score.
This one flashed in front toward goal. Oh, what a start for Fort Wayne.
You ever just look at them and think, yeah, I'm doing all right.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
We've always been heads up about money, but sometimes life throws you a curve, like juggling college for our son and what it might take to help my dad if he needs it. He's always been there for us. Our region's Greenprint plan helped us feel more prepared for whatever comes next. And Mike went the extra mile for us with great advice. We feel like we've got this.
Extra confidence from Greenprint. Extra know-how from our people. Extra is our ordinary at Regions.
Returning to Covenant Health Park, 1 Knoxville SC 2, New York Cosmos 0. Halftime has come in USL League One, as we already have 2 games in the book for 1 Knox. In the middle of this match week, we look ahead to what they've got going on, as the upcoming schedule is brought to you by Realty Executives. For 1 Knox, 3 straight on the road against 2 top 5 opponents, and then Corpus Christi in the USL Cup. ACB and Spokane Velocity heading into today are numbers 4 and 5. The next 2 games for 1 Knox on the road before going to Corpus Christi with a barely squeaked out the tie in regular season action just about a couple of weeks ago. They get to return to Corpus Christi, maybe to make some things up, maybe get a full 3 this time in a very tightly congested USL Cup, including that ESPN2 match against ACB. As for New York Cosmos, a couple of games on their end as well, also from Realty Executives. They get to go to Ford Madison next time out. That's going to be on CBS Golazo before coming back home to Greenville and to Naples. And this is an interesting stretch for New York Cosmos, not just because of who they play, but what the opportunity is presented to them. Ford Madison is the team underneath the playoff line. Greenville Triumph, they can actually catch today if they can somehow come back to win, with Greenville only being 3 points ahead. And Naples have been on a slide, 2 consecutive games with losses, having allowed 7 goals across those 2 matches. For an offensive unit like New York, that could be an opportunity against Naples. And they'll be back at Patterson at Hinchliffe Stadium for the Cosmos. As that'll do it for halftime, and when we come back to Covenant Health Park, we will have the second half of action between 1 Knox and New York.
It is halftime in League One. We hope you're enjoying the match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines. In winning their first League One match in Week 14, Corpus Christi FC made some history. That 3-2 win is the second match in League One history to finish with 2 goals in stoppage time to erase a 2-1 deficit. The Richmond Kickers did it in 2022. Red Hot Sarasota Paradise collected its 3rd straight win with a 2-0 USL Cup victory over FC Naples, the battle in paradise. 18-year-old goalkeeper Roxan Amadeka earned his first professional shutout en route to League One Team of the Week. Entering this week's schedule, Charlotte Independence is on a 5-match win streak in all competitions, and Luis Alvarez has played a big part with 5 goals and 2 assists in that stretch. The 2024 Young Player of the Year has a career-high goal total already this season with 6. Upcoming national spotlight games on ESPN2, Forward Madison and Fort Wayne on the 17th, Saturday the 20th. Round 4 of the Prinks Tires USL Cup begins with Detroit City and Louisville City, and also that night, Las Vegas Lights in Orange County on CBS Sports Network, that game in the championship. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
I would never go back to my previous provider.
If I had this sooner, I could have eliminated a lot of frustrations.
I don't have to hear, Mom, the internet is not working.
If you don't have it, you'd be crazy not to switch.
Tired of dealing with the same drain problems again and again? Zoom Drain Bio helps stop backups before they start. This safe, natural probiotic treatment breaks down grease and waste. No harsh chemicals, no pipe damage, just cleaner drains and fewer surprises. With regular use, Zoom Drain Bio keeps your system flowing and extends the life of your Zoom Drain service. Zoom Drain Bio, a greener way to protect your pipes, your budget, and the planet.
You've heard all about the benefits of contrast therapy. Now it's time to experience it for yourself. Explore the deep relaxation of a sauna session, the thrill of a cold plunge, and simply take a little time to unwind. Book a standard 2-hour visit, and you can always add a massage. It's all designed for deep, effortless rest. It's time for something different. It's time for Sauna House.
We're ready for the second half here in Knoxville between One Knox and the New York Cosmos. 2-0 is the scoreline in 45 minutes. Let's take a look at how we got here, as halftime is brought to you by Realty Executives, as are our halftime highlights as we go through what's happened in the first 45 minutes. It was the give and go between T.O. and Kyle Linares along that far sideline where T.O. would get dropped. Although Javier Garcia would stop the initial shot from Babacar Dieng, he wasn't able to fully hold it off as Dieng was able to put back the rebound to open the scoring at 1-0, only 19 minutes into the match. However, 10 minutes later, there would be a golden opportunity for Lamine Jauna, gaining a round from Johan Garbe, but he hits the outside of the frame. And for Jauna, that could have been his first goal with the Cosmos, but couldn't do so, as with about 10 minutes to go in the opening half, Garcia's attempted clearance would come off of Denis Kurchenkov. Just a bit of an effort play, getting in front, getting a friendly bounce to the back of the net, and that's where we stand through 45 minutes as our halftime stats are also brought to you by Realty Executives. And this is about what you expect when you have a team currently at the very bottom of the table, last place in the league. Although there's still a chance for them to potentially catch up and do something with it, they have been a team that have created offensive opportunities and chances, just not today, because Knoxville are smothering them with their defense, preventing New York from even getting shots attempted. It's one of the reasons why Knoxville are one of the elite teams in the league and want to stay that way, with their eyes set on the #1 overall seed at the table. Only 7 points the separator between Knoxville and Omaha going into today. They can make up a gap if they can hold on to their lead, as Knoxville are ready to go. We're back in business here at Covenant Health Park in Knoxville, Tennessee. One Knox will be in the all white. They will go from right to left. Going left to right will be New York in the all blue, as we are back here at Covenant Health Park in Knoxville, Tennessee. Ryan Lee and our entire ESPN Plus crew, we thank you for joining us. Where Knoxville have their eyes set at the top of the table, for New York, they just want to escape last place, where they have only a 1-point deficit between themselves, Westchester, and Corpus Christi, who each have 8 points. New York has 7. But they are in quite of a hole early on, with 2 self-inflicted wounds in the first half. The penalty to Dieng, and then the unintentional rebound, as that one's a deep strike off of Holt. Rebound for Perkins, lifted across. Tio battling with Galazzini. Galazzini aims for an outlet. Noker is there, as Spangler is down to ground. We saw a lower leg injury from Jordan Skelton somewhat earlier in the match, towards the tail end of the first half. Spangler gets up. And for Spangler, that would be a humongous loss if anything were to happen, considering that he has been involved with most of New York's offense, pardon. Of the 14 total goals that New York has scored so far this season, Ajmir Spangler has accounted for 9 goal contributions among them. That's been an exceptional rate for the 25-year-old from the USF Bulls. 2-year pro in USL League One prior to this year, as the return feed chopped away by McRobb. Forced out towards Dieng, the opening goal scorer. Linares might have a lane for Kurchenkov. Back for Linares. He might be alone. Linares stopped by Garcia. Kyle Linares is still looking for that second goal in USL League One, as he makes his way in pro game number 75, split between MLS Next Pro, the USL Championship, and this year in USL League One. had a loan stint last year in the championship with San Antonio. He started his pro career with Portland Timbers 2 for 2 seasons and comes to League One's Knoxville this past offseason. All that experience now accounts to 75 total matches. As it goes end to end, Will Perkins, actually former teammates with many of these guys on Texoma. Jonah got around his man. That's outside for Guenzati. What's left in those 34-year-old legs? Turns 35 in the first week of July. Is Guenzati. Only about 3 weeks ago, had his 100th appearance with the New York Cosmos, dating back to their time in the NASL, even a little bit of time there with Nisa, before he eventually found a home in the USL Championship back in 2017 with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, where he was there for 5 years. Comes home to New York. Guenzati is the one chasing. Jaune. Still Lamin Jaune with a strike from deep, gets blocked. Galazzini gives it a go off of Tio for a corner. Davide Galazzini really trying to force the issue. As with Ian Fuller, he's most certainly a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. You never have to question what he's thinking. For the first-time head coach in his second season, his unit will have to force their way through, but couldn't get the touch over was Guenzati. This is a New York side that haven't had as many set piece opportunities. Guenzati just pushes it over. On the heels of 100 pro goals is Guenzati. He's got 98 heading into today across his 365 pro matches. He hasn't gotten on the board since the USL Cup in that 3-2 comeback win against Westchester. That was a month ago on May 15th in the second round of the Prince Tires USL Cup. Also the last time that New York won. But Galazzini might be alone. Galazzini! Galazzini gets one back for New York as they're on the board just after the halftime break. This was the play from Davide Galazzini, only his second goal with the Cosmos, his first since the end of March. Just streaking in on the near side, taking on Garibay one-on-one. And Galazzini gets New York on the board, and we have a new game here. Especially when you saw the run that Galazzini was making. It was off of some quick passing after New York was able to get a turnover. Trying to just hustle the other way. This is a New York team that were within the top 5 of League One in terms of fast breaks, their opportunities with speed, with numbers. Perhaps a chance to pass was in the works, but Galazzini wanted it all himself. However, Guenzati towards Galazzini will give it back to Knoxville. Only the first time these two have played. These two will go again, but that will be on decision day, and that will be in Patterson at Hinchliffe Stadium. New York will actually get some really interesting competition at Hinchliffe. About 2 weeks from now, they'll be hosting the Liga MX side, Santos Laguna. The first time that the New York Cosmos hosted a Mexican club since June of 1973. As this one gets rolled out of play to a corner. First corner of the second half, maybe a chance for Teddy Baker and company to recoup their 2-goal lead that they had at the halftime break. Baker, outward, still loose. Poked out by Cabrera. Spangler finishes the cleanup. Remains with Cosmos. It is 2 weeks from now, June 28th. They have a friendly against Santos Laguna, the first time they've hosted a Mexican club since Club Veracruz. Especially the overall history of the New York Cosmos and how they're trying to revive it in this newest iteration in USL League One. How about 50 years ago, 51 to be exact. Back in 1975 when they brought in Pele and the course of American soccer was changed forever. And at the very least, there'll be a dead ball spot favoring New York. Alvis Osmanovic giving his first big decision in the second half as Galazzini was tangled up with Tiao. Tiao getting a little handsy. Maybe some slippage, and that one was certainly a foul, that trip up on the leg. Spangler wanting to go quick. All sorts of strategizing. But at the very least, the two to stay are Mendonca and Spangler. Mendonca, an MLS Next Pro champion with North Texas back in 2024. But also spent the last 2 years with Chattanooga FC. Spangler, Mendonca. This time it's Spangler curling away. Back to the corner we go with Ajmir Spangler. Wanted the return feed from Galazzini, but it's Galazzini and Jounet to chase it back. Mendonca. Spangler spins away from pressure. Up the gut he goes. Contact from DN, bounces. But it will return 2-1 Knox. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. So amongst the benches on the far sideline, Stavros Zarakostas and Jaheim Brown are getting ready, which likely could be the first set of changes for Ian Fuller. Especially as both Linares and Tio have just been getting all sorts of contact in today's game. John Murphy for Kurchenkov. However, that will go against Krachenkov, and this will potentially be the change. And this will be the change. It is Jaheim Brown, last year's second team All League One, who will replace Chris Teo, and Colinares will have his spot taken by Stavros Zarakostas. For Brown, 80 matches across all pro levels. For Zarakostas, 50 in USL League One regular season play. Stavros Zarakostas, one of the top chance creators across all of USL League One. The 28-year-old Greek midfielder, striker, hybrid from Rhode Island University, that is. He will come into the match, as will Brown. So a little bit of interesting change, also in a tactical aspect, because you see Will Perkins make his way to TO spot. Jaheim Brown, very much more of a guy he's put on the right side for Ian Fuller. And when talking about some of the midfielder options, especially Padilla Rodriguez going back to Lexington, and what opportunities could come for the next guy up, Jaheim Brown has just been a guy that's been asked a lot of because he can handle it. Zarakostas might not have gotten the whistle for contact, but at least a throw-in. It's going to be tossed in by Brown, the one that Coach Fuller called Jaw. As the two substitutes link up back for Skelton. Caputo lifts it to Perkins on an island. Perkins wanted it, double clutches. Krachenkov heads it just wide. What a ball for Denis Krachenkov, as he had a chance to get back into sole possession of second place in the Golden Boot race, as Perkins had a nice feed and a nice header there for Krachenkov. Already on a goal today, had 5 goals going into the evening, which still leads Knoxville, as Brown is forced to intervene on Jaunet and will draw the whistle. But what an interesting acquisition was Jaheim Brown when he came in last year. Not a lot really known about him because he only played 1 year of collegiate ball in 2023. That was at Angelina College, a junior college, NCJAA ranks, before returning to his home country of Jamaica to play in the JPL with Waterhouse, and is now a 2-year veteran with One Knox, where he was a part of the second team All League One a year ago, and has continuously been a reliable starter for Ian Fuller. Started 8 of 11 so far this year, 32 of 38 since joining Ian Fuller last year. Perkins centers for Caputo. Baker alongside. Deep ball. Zarakostas couldn't keep it in play. Knoxville also in a really interesting spot too, considering where they are within the table. Entering today, 7 points shy of Union Omaha's mark, but only 2 points behind Charlotte Independence, who they are trying to chase. Baker up the gut, couldn't get it through. Sadul dislodges. Galazzini. Knocker right to Caputo. Dean up the middle. Dean. Murphy returns for Dean. Dean well wide. Great patience here by John Murphy. Maybe could have had a crack right there, but instead, Dean had a better angle and also had a little more space than Murphy did when he made that initial release. But Knoxville, you can argue, maybe not the toughest of stretches as of late, even if you include the USL Cup. Considering that this is their 4th straight match against a bottom 5 USL League One opponent. On the road to Corpus Christi, hosting Greenville, Chattanooga, and this Cosmos teams all on back-to-back games. But especially in USL League One, you can't really take any opponent for granted, can't really write anyone off. Especially a one Knox side that knows the standard that they need to uphold because of what they did last year, winning the double as Spangler charges in the area, but comes loose. Caputo collects it. And Ian Fuller very much one to be a we focus on us type of team. As Kurchenkov's on a breakaway and stopped by Garcia. Had Kurchenkov gotten that one through, he would have been in sole position of second in the Golden Boot race. After he scored in the 35th minute, he was tied with Spangler. Take Healy was a part of that group going into the weekend as well. But Jaune skipping through, Spangler on his left, can't fire, he does and just missed. Well, we highlighted these two at the beginning of the broadcast, and for good reason. What a line for Murphy to get Kurchenkov beating out Holt, but not past Garcia. And then on the other way, the Taxoma teammates, Jaune for Spangler, and that was just wide of Johan Garibay. And within that last sequence, Babacar Dieng, the opening goal scorer, is done for the evening. Mikael Guling to take his spot. 67th minute sub for Guling to replace Babacar Dieng, who did get the first goal of the match. This is Guling's first regular season action since the Corpus Christi match because he took a red card against Corpus Christi, suspended against Greenville. Kurchenkov loosens and is off the outside of the frame. Kurchenkov is searching for it. He has just been able to find a way to beat Anderson Holt, especially in those last couple of runs for him. 1 year with UNC Charlotte after transferring in a 3-year stint in Davidson. 3-time All-Conference between the AAC and the A10s in his rookie season as a pro. But maybe a response for New York. Jaune forces the stop from Garibay. This second half has most certainly turned up already, especially for New York. Even Knoxville have outperformed their outperformed the first half in the second so far. However, this time it's Mendonca. Jaune. Chips it in the middle. Mendonca with a volley, but over. One Knox, they're not quite there, but they're well on their way to outpacing their first half. Already 6 attempts in this second half. That accounts for about 2/3 of their 15. 9 in the first half, 6 in the second half, and just shot attempts. For New York, they have significantly outperformed their first half. Only 2 total attempts in the first half, but 5 in the second with their lone on target, which was the goal to Davide Galazzini, his second of the season, which put New York on the board back in the 51st. You have to wonder what is in the mind through Coach Corti. His big guys have been producing. Galazzini and Spangler the assist as Krachenkov lays it back towards Perkins. Murphy. Too far ahead as Kostas. But for Spangler, not only has he been amongst the leaders in the Golden Boot race, he's also been amongst one of the top USL League One playmakers. Only 2 assists away from the top seeds, which are Ollie Wright and Sander Rode, who each have 5. Spangler had 3, got 1 on the Galazzini goal, now has 4. Two-way tie with Pedro Hernandez of the Red Wolves. Spangler down to ground. This will draw a yellow card. Teddy Baker, the guilty party. And you still have a man down way back. Abel Caputo is still stretching things out over there. First time Baker's been booked this year as Caputo gets back on his feet. Just back-to-back contact between Caputo and Spangler. As that last yellow card was the first time that Baker got booked. Not a whole lot of action in terms of fouls or any sort of physical play, but Elvis Osmanovic did need to distribute a booking there. Jacob Little, Rebecca Luther, Tyler Sandberg. The rest of the crew in red. Nestor Cabrera dancing along the sideline. Cabrera to cross, headed into the hands of Johan Garibay. USL League One and Championship are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. And Coach Fuller using the 4th substitute at his disposal. Danny Fernandez is into this game. He will change things up for Abel Caputo, who just took that aggressive knock just moments ago. 72nd minute change for Danny Fernandez. 1 game away from 100 in USL League One. Today is number 99 if you include all competitions. What a lane. Zarcosta still in, tried to thread it through, but no one on the receiving end. Back it comes, Baker from distance, but held on. Rebound is loose and they score! Knoxville's collecting loose change, as that's another rebound goal for One Knox. Mikel Gouling gets on the board for his first in 2026. What a line from Teddy Baker, and this is another one that's fumbled by Garcia. There was the PK save against DN that he couldn't scoop in, and that one easily could have been held on, but Gouling is ready, right time, right place, and this forward group has absolutely been cooking with gas. Gouling's first in 26. He had 5 in 2025. Hasn't been able to find that scoring touch the same he has last year, but maybe just getting 1 on the board, just getting off the schneid might be enough to help him regain a little confidence and get back to form. Formerly of Cal State Santa Barbara. In his second pro season is Gouling. Came as a part of Ian Fuller's inaugural squad, as Jauna couldn't keep it in. Right after the goal celebration happened as well, New York did make a sub. William Knocker is out of the game. The replacement is Massimo Motabiro. Motabiro, 18 years old, from Philly. His first pro season after spending some time in the academy programs at both Orlando City and Philadelphia Union. But maybe another one for one Knox. It's Kurchenkov beating Holt. Kurchenkov just missed. One Knox are all over it. They already have 9 shot attempts, which they had in the entire first half. And Kurchenkov, a large part of the offensive explosion that has been. This will be where we'll have our hydration break as well. So no need to sweat. We are on ESPN Plus. We will stay for the entire hydration break. It is a 3-1 game between One Knox and New York Cosmos. And a whole lot has happened. It started with Babacar Dian on a PK rebound that opened up the scoring in the 19th minute. But this just position play by Kurchenkov, just getting some pressure high up the field, stick the leg out, maybe you get a fortunate goal, and that's exactly what happened for Kurchenkov. In the top 3 of the Golden Boot race going into today, and with that goal, that puts him at 6th, tied with Ajmir Spangler and Denis Kurchenkov. With this match, 12 games into the 2026 season, he and Ajmir Spangler are tied at 6 apiece, second in the Golden Boot race, both of whom are pursuing Luis Alvarez of Charlotte Independence. He scored another goal earlier today, did Alvarez, as the Jacks are still very much in the thick of things, trying to pursue the #1 seed themselves. Charlotte are hosting Naples, where Alvarez scored. Kurchenkov tied things with Healy and Spangler. Healy joined Spangler in that list in the Wednesday game in Westchester. Kurchenkov did so today, but have had so many opportunities to maybe take that sole spot in second is Denis Kurchenkov early on. Especially because he has been, without a doubt, the most dangerous and most productive One Knox forward so far, with 2 shots on target on 6 attempts. As Davide Corti just trying to figure anything out. Patrick Bowie and Davey Mason are in for Nestor Cabrera and Davide Galazzini. As maybe it's a chance. Kurchenkov can't collect. Still back and forth. Low. Kurchenkov lays it back. Baker expands. Gouling. Gouling back across. Wanting Kurchenkov. Interrupted by Motabiro. Eventually sent out of bounds. Corner given to One Knox. Only their second of the second half. Baker's in. Ricochets loose. One knocks one, a handball. They won't get it. Guenzotti with Spangler. Potential 4-on-2 for New York. Spangler leads it. Jaune back in the middle will take a corner for New York the other way. Still Spangler. He did get an assist on the opening goal to Galazzini back in the 51st. Maybe another one for New York. Spangler, back post is volleyed up and over. The 19th minute goal from Babacar Dieng. And then a 35th minute goal from Denis Kurchenkov made it 2-0 at the half. Galazzini got one back. Here's one for one Knox. Kurchenkov just high again. All eyes on goal, got one just before the end of the first half. But in the second half, it's been a goal aside. Galazzini from Spangler and Goulding all by himself. But Stavros Zarkostas, part of his game has been setting up others, the chance creation aspect of it, one of the best in the league at it a year ago. To the result of 15 combined goal contributions last year. His playmaking, such a strong part of his game. He was top 5 in assists last year too, was Zarkostas, looking to set things up for Kurchenkov. Maybe to take sole possession of second in the Golden Boot race behind Luis Alvarez. And it's really extra impressive too with Kurchenkov, considering that he just lets it fly. He's not shy to shoot it from any angle. Spangler at the center. Spangler loads up and off the bar. A chance for Cosmos to recover. Played back. Mason cuts it down. Spangler at the top. Mason out wide. Laterally, but it will be blown dead. Spangler had a chance to maybe get this game within one once again, as Spangler had Garibay beat, just clips crossbar and out, and in the final 10 minutes, it's a very steep climb for New York. Zarkostas almost had a leading pass towards Kurchenkov. But Kurchenkov gravitates towards him anyways. Goulding from range and well missed. That now puts Knoxville at 20 attempts in the match. And it did take a clip for a corner. This has been a nice new tandem with Goulding and Kurchenkov, especially because they are two shoot-first-minded guys. However, Goulding has fallen to midfield quite a number of times with one knock since he arrived here last year. Kurchenkov very much more of a pure forward, as Baker takes another corner to Knoxville. Swung out, headed, off the line, it's loose, and Garcia dives on it. They might be going quick, but instead it's held up by Perkins. These deep passes from New York have caused all sorts of issues for Knoxville so far. They might have another answer within them. Jaune. Goes for it. Went off his own man, Bowie. And Kurchenkov in open space. Foot race for Gouling. And things will take a pause after it goes out. John Murphy struggling to get up. Or rather, that's Baker. And you saw Baker on that last corner giving some of the stretches to his legs. Maybe took some contact in that mix too. Coach Fuller does have one more sub at his disposal if he wants it. And that's another no contact injury. We saw that from Skelton at the end of the first half. Coach Fuller actually made note that likely because some of the guys just haven't had that same number of minutes played, that fitness might play its factor. Nick Zalanka enters the match, maybe trying to rotate some guys for Davide Corti. He takes the place of Guenzati up top. 85th minute sub for Davide Corti. And coughed up right back to 1 Knox. Enter the Priggs Tires USL Cup Game Day Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on the screen and enter today. Well, Knoxville will go up to the Pacific Northwest to play their final game in June, a week from now against Spokane. As this is their final game of a 3-game homestand. As Jaune clips it, still in Bowie. Bowie across, but couldn't get in front of Jaheim Brown, who draws contact. But that road game against Spokane for 1 Knox will be the first of 3 straight on the road, all in the all west of the Mississippi River, with Spokane, Boise, and Corpus Christi in the USL Cup. And those could be some critical games for 1 Knox, considering that Spokane and Boise are actively chasing Knoxville. Entering this evening, Spokane were back of Knoxville by 1 point. Boise were back of Knoxville by 3 points. And this is also back-to-back games against top 5 opponents when they spent the last 4 games against bottom 5 opponents, including today's game. But maybe a chance for Knoxville to at the very least keep an arm's length on Boise, considering they're up against Ford Madison, who are leading at the moment. And Madison still have a lot to prove after missing the playoffs last year on Decision Day. Union Omaha, what type of a slide are they in, currently trailing on Sarasota Paradise? Could Mikel Gouling maybe just enhance his lead? He cannot. But not by much. Gouling got his goal unassisted in the 73rd. One Knox to the tune of 21 combined attempts, including 7 on frame. All sorts of potential shakeups could occur within the USL League One table. Madison is currently trailing Boise, who are chasing 1 Knox in a top 3 slot. Jaune maybe trying to get something back for New York. Spangler up the gut, couldn't get it through. He was just wide of his intended target. Mendonca comes back to center. Motabiro, Bowie. Final 2 minutes of the 90. Bowie couldn't split the D. Jaune follows up. Spangler still in control. Spangler chips it. Too high for the head. Maybe trying to draw some contact on McRob was Zalanka, but he gets back up. Knoxville will have to enjoy the confines of Covenant Health Park. They won't be back until next month. Pass inaccurate for either Zelanka or Jonas, so it's held on by Garibay. It'll be pretty much exactly a month from now, July 15th, where they host Fort Wayne. Will be the next time that Knoxville will be back here on this pitch. As for New York Cosmos, they'll have a bit of a lighter schedule, especially with the New Jersey area already being plenty occupied with plenty of soccer-related festivities just 20 minutes down the road from Hinchliffe over at New York, New Jersey Stadium. Still back in the middle, Garcia forced to pounce before Perkins could maybe do some damage again. Cosmos go to the road against Forward Madison as our 3 minutes of stoppage time is brought to you by Zoom Drain, the official drainage partner of One Knoxville. Zarkostas outside, and that skips across the goal line and out. So Zarkostas haven't really had the chance to do a lot this season just because of the overall congestion, especially in the midfield with guys like Murphy and Baker. Caputo was a holdover from a year ago. Bringing in Linares. Virgilio Rodriguez held a role for a long time. And that kind of pushed things backward for Zarkostas on the depth chart in the midfield, even having some knocks and nicks earlier on the season that limited his availability, but has been able to be a reliable piece off the bench for Ian Fuller. And at the very least, he's allowing these guys to shine in their own way, especially because if they weren't on the roster, that they wouldn't have faith in their players. At the very least, they have the confidence if they're on this roster in the first place. Back post scooped across and out. For New York, the second half of a back-to-back on the road will go to Wisconsin against Madison. Madison actually just barely on the outside looking in on the table. Or entering today, they were 3 points back of Fort Wayne in 8th. So maybe Madison might try to do something to get back above the playoff line before they go home on July 4th to play against Greenville Triumph, who are only 3 points above New York going into today. So maybe some opportunity for New York. Patrick Bowie sprints ahead. Bowie across, still loose, cleared out. We're in the final minute of 3. We might be only a third of the way into the season, but table talk is never a bad time, especially with how much both these teams are going to have to deal with. These two will play one more time. That'll be October 17th, which is the final game of the season for both teams. That will be the decision day match back at Hinchliffe in Patterson. Who knows how things will shake out there. But at the very least, One Knox take care of business as they stand their ground and defend their dirt, beating the New York Cosmos 3-1. Our man of the match is presented by Peaceful Side Brewery's Club Light, brewed in the peaceful side of the Smoky Mountains. Denis Krachenkov getting not only a goal in this match, but also leading all of One Knox with 7 shot attempts and 2 on target, one of which was the goal that got past Javier Garcia. And technically speaking, that is the game-winning goal of this match also. And for Krachenkov, he puts himself second in the Golden Boot race, behind only Luis Alvarez who is now 3 goals ahead of Kurchenkov as we stand. The game might be finished, but we are not here on ESPN+. One Knoxville does beat the New York Cosmos 3-1, but we will wrap things up at Covenant Health Park when we come back.
Extra. It changes the energy on the field and off. It changes the expectations. It changes the game. At Regions, we celebrate the extra that makes the SEC the definition of excellence, while our team goes the extra mile so your financial wins keep coming too. Extra changes everything. And Extra is our ordinary at Regions, official bank of the SEC.
It was definitely worth the wait. I jumped on it as soon as it was available.
Everybody's switching. I see the signs popping up all over the neighborhood.
Rock solid, super fast speeds down and up.
It's a huge upgrade.
Cost is always consistent.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
I still got it, and I still love it.
If it's in your area, you better get it. And if it's not, it'll soon be there, and you can get it then.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. They look like thousands, but sound like one. In their hands, a simple beat is transformed into a masterpiece. Commitment runs through their veins. Because to them, the bigger the family, the better the game. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
Let's get ready to wrap things up here in Knoxville. One Knoxville 3, New York Cosmos 1. Through 90 minutes of play where Knoxville are within striking distance of Union Omaha at the top of the table. Them and Charlotte Independence pretty much a dead heat with the Owls on who can get the top spots. But the only reason they're there is because of their performance through 90 minutes of play. As we take a look at our full-time highlights through the full 90. Lots of action between these two. It all started right around the 18th minute where Cristio took a quick tangle up on Knocker, which allows DN to not get the opening goal in the initial penalty shot that was saved by Garcia, but the follow-up that was unable to be stopped by the Cosmos keeper. That would open things up at 1-0 for DN's 3rd goal of the season, but there would be a wide open chance for Lamine Johnnet looking for his first as a Cosmo, but could not get it past, even though he had Garibay beat, Perkins scrambling back. But 10 minutes to go in the first half. Dennis Kurchenkov, right place, right time, just doing the little things right, getting the foot out to block the clearance from Garcia and just roll to the back of the net. Kurchenkov 6 puts him tied at 2nd in the Golden Boot race. But coming out of the break very shortly after, Galazzini with a feed from Spangler had Garibay beat. All speed, all power for Galazzini's 2nd goal of the season. And in the 72nd minute, a turnover from Baker was not only saved by Garcia, but the rebound was put back in by Mikel Gouling. That was our beautiful play of the game from Bush's Beans from Knoxville, supporting Knoxville, as Gouling gets the win for Knoxville, or cements it with that 2-goal advantage. And it's about what you expect from a number 3 versus last place game in USL League One, when Knox just taking care of business. But this is a team that has really relied and rallied on their defense. Maybe not the best defensive outing, but they can use that to maximize their offense, and they did, creating counterattacks, getting some possession, disrupting chances for New York at times with that 13-3 shot on target percentage versus One Knox. Not much better, but at the very least higher to what you want versus what they did against New York. And Knoxville took care of business to stay within striking distance of Union Omaha. Well, what a game this was down in the Volunteer State, as One Knox and the New York Cosmos went back and forth, but at the end of the day, One Knox showing why they are the reigning champs. For all of us in our entire amazing ESPN Plus crew, my name is Ryan Lee. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.